Bart looks to be a star. Fergie doesn't want the White Sox win streak to get too far. Rice is just trying to be Jim Dandy, while Ziz says, I'll take any bat that's handy. Great Scott, man. All this and more on this day in baseball. Alrighty. Little frivolity there. Don't know how well that came across on the camera, but I guess I'll find out when I upload it. Just trying to add a little extra to the broadcast since I was unable to do the live stream like I wanted to, so thought I would experiment with something else. And we are at Comiskey Park for Game 2 of the White Sox and the Red Sox. Now, I did play the top of the first on the live stream before the camera froze up on me. And the White Sox, Bart Johnson, held him scoreless through the first. Burleson, we'll look at the score sheet real quickly. Burleson flew out to left, Doyle singled, Jim Rice struck out, and Yastrzemski fouled out to the catcher Essien. And that's where we stand as we start the bottom of the first. Ferguson Jenkins on the hill. He was 10-10 with a 3.68 ERA in 1977. So he will don the mound, get ready for his festivities. Let's pop this up just a hair so you can see his card, which means I need to back this up so you can see the score sheet all the way with the line score and everything. So hopefully that turns out okay. And this is just for Al, my little sidekick right over here. There she is, right there on her little perch, sitting here waiting for me and helping me manage the game. It's Miss Tabby. So yep, that's my companion when I play these games. She likes to come in here and help oversee things. So there you go. Let's get back to some serious business now with baseball and the White Sox, who have won 4 in a row, trying to go 5-0. Red Sox are 2-1. These White Sox are 4-0. And Ralph Garr will be leading things off. I opened up the 78 top set on the live stream, and it didn't necessarily go that well, so I had to delete that, so we won't have any cards being shown today. But we will have these cards right here. And right now it's nothing. Starting the bottom of the first, Ralph Garr leads off against Fergie Jenkins, the Southside hitman, looking to keep it going. 5-8 for Fergie, and it's a fly to center. I'm not sure if it's pronounced Fergie or Fergie. I think it's pronounced Fergie. I think that seems to make more sense. But Ferguson Jenkins is what I'm used to calling him by his formal name, but they want to go with Fergie, so we'll do it. Although Fergie sounds like one of those royalty people over in England somewhere. 3-9 for Bannister. That's a single. So Alan Bannister gets the lead, gets the one-out hit. He's not a threat to steal. Only stole 4 bases all year. Got caught 3 times. And like I said, with this lineup, you don't want to run yourself out of an inning. So, it's a 1. So, but it's a wild pitch rating of 1 on Jenkins. And the phone slipped down a little bit. Let's bring Jenkins' card back into view. Well, it's fading on me there. Let's see if we can't get this to where it needs to be. I may need to move this a little bit further up so you can see. I think you can see Fergie Jenkins' card now. Let's bring this up a little bit closer. Maybe that will help. Okay, so hopefully that's a better view. We got a 1 on the D20, which means we're checking the wild pitch for Jenkins, which is only a 1. And so that's a 4. There's no wild pitch, so we continue to bat with order. 5-8. 5-8 is a fly to center. Handled out there by the center fielder, that being Dwight Evans. Remember, he's playing for the injured Fred Lynn, and Carbo's in right covering for Evans. Here's Richie Zisk. Pitch to Zisk at your own risk. 1-7. Well, that time they struck him out. So Ferguson Jenkins puts the kibosh on the White Sox rather. So after one complete, we are scoreless here at Comiskey. Maybe there's good karma with Ferguson Jenkins, because the last Ferguson Jenkins game I played was in History Maker Baseball 1967, and he threw a no-hitter. So he doesn't have a no-hitter, but he's got a shutout going, so maybe that's a good sign for the Red Sox. We'll see. Here's George Scott, the boomer. 1-3, and he's going to ground to short. Handled by shortstop Bannister. And there's one away. Here's Carbo. 2-6 for Carbo, and it's a single, 1-10. Anything else, he will ground to Spencer at first. That's an 18, so Spencer is able to gobble it up. 2 up, 2 down, brings up Carlton Fisk. Pudge, the original Pudge, 1-6, and he struck him out. So Bart Johnson doing well through 2 innings. He has kept the Red Sox at bay, giving his team a chance to put some runs on the board. Fergie will be facing Jim Spencer, first baseman, power hitting first baseman. Of course, a lot of power hitters on the White Sox. 6-7 is a ground ball second base X. That's Denny Doyle. And if we look at Denny Doyle's defensive credentials, Denny Doyle, 2 E18. So a 2 E18 for Doyle. 2 and a 17, he'll get to that easily. There's a 12. Does he have an E18 on a 12? Oh, I'm sorry, does he have a 12 on an E18? Got it backwards. There is no 12 on an E18, so therefore, it is a good play. And Spencer is retired by Doyle. 1 away for Oscar Gamble. 6-10 for Jenkins against a lefty. He's a ground ball third base X. And we go right back to the defensive charts for Butch Hobson. Butch Hobson, 3E23. 3 and a 5, that could be interesting. 3 and a 5 is actually, he does get to it. 3 and a 5 is a G3. So he gets to that. That is a 4. And he is an E23. E23, there is no 4, so it's a good play for Hobson. And we've got 2 down right away here in the second inning as Oscar Gamble is retired. Here's Soderholm. Soderholm, a 3-9, and he's going to ground to third. Hobson up to the task again. And the inning is over. So 2 innings are in the books. 2 innings are in the books. And we are scoreless. All right, Bart Johnson. His starter rating is only a 5, so may not be able to go very long in this game. We'll see how he does. He was used in long relief quite a bit. Ferguson Jenkins is a 6 on his fatigue, so he should be okay for a while. Here's Dewey. Dewey Evans, 5-8. Struck him out. So Bart Johnson with the whiff. And that brings up the number 9 hitter, Butch Hobson. Pretty good lineup if you have Hobson batting 9th. 1-5, but he struck out 2. So Bart Johnson has struck out 3 in a row going back to last inning. And 4 for the game. And here's Burleson. 5-6. It's a fly to left. That's how Burleson started the game, with a fly to left, probably on that 5-6 result. And the inning is over. So Bart Johnson, 3 shutout innings of the Sox. And if we look at the previous game, the Red Sox were shut out in the previous game 3-0. So now that makes it 12 innings in a row that they have not scored against White Sox pitching, which is very unusual because the White Sox did not have the best of pitchers. But so far the dice are in the White Sox favor. Here now is Chet Lemon. 1-7, and that's a walk. So Lemon will draw a leadoff walk. Now, he did steal 8 bases but was caught 7 times. Fergie is a +2 hold rating, though, so could be a thought of trying to do some thievery here. But Fisk is a -3, so that's a -1 altogether. Plus he's being held, so even if it gets the jump, it's a -3. Best he can do is a 12, so they're not going to take the chance. So SCN's going to go ahead and swing away. And we get a 5-8, and that's a fly to right for out number 1. Essien retired, back to the top of the order, and Ralph Garr. Garr, a 2-4. Ground ball shortstop B, that's a fielder's choice as Burleson flips to Doyle for out number 2. Garr takes over at first. 2 down. He did steal 12 bases. This is a possibility of a chance to steal. We're going to see if he can get the jump. He is the leadoff hitter after all, so we'll see if he gets the jump. He needs a 2 through 6 or a 12. He gets a 3, so he does get the jump, which means he starts at a 15. He's being held, makes him a 13, and we've already figured out that the battery combination is a -1, so that makes him a 12. So 1 to 12, and he will make it. It's an 18. He gets caught stealing. So Fisk throws him out, and that's going to end the inning, as Bannister is left holding the bat at the plate, and he will lead off the 4th. But after 3 complete, we are still looking at nothing but goose eggs. Starting the top of the 4th, it'll be Denny Doyle. Denny Doyle will lead things off here against Bart Johnson as the Red Sox try to get something going offensively. Comiskey's been a dry spot for him. 4-9 on Bart Johnson. That's going to be his leadoff single for Denny Doyle. So maybe Doyle in the leadoff position, although he did single with 1 out last time up, and it didn't bring any runs to fruition. But now here comes the big boys. Jim Rice. Jim Rice, it's a 2-6 for Rice, and that's a ballpark home run shot, and it's a 1 to 6. So 1 to 6, and Rice will go deep. It's a 7. He just missed it. He just missed it. However, I am playing Super Advanced, and in Super Advanced you can rob the home run, which means that if the first number in the flyout range, which is what this is, the first number in the flyout range, the 1 through 6 is a home run, the first flyout number is a 7, so we go to this robbing the home run. He is a right-handed batter, which means we're checking the center fielder, and center fielder in this case is Chet Lemon. Chet Lemon is a 3 defensively. That's his rating. So we go over here to outfield ratings 3. 1 to 11 is going to be a home run. 12 to 20 is going to fly out. So 1 to 11, Rice can still get the home run, as Lemon won't be able to grab it. It's a 17, so Lemon robbed him. So Rice can't catch a break. Chet Lemon with the robbing of the home run. And that'll bring up Yaz. It's a 2-5 for Yaz. That's a single to center field. Lemon's got a good arm, so Doyle's going to hold up right at second base. Runners at first and second with 1 out for the boomer, George Scott. That's a 2. It's a possible balk or pass ball, but Johnson has a 0 on his balk rating. And we'll check the pass ball rating on Essien. He's got a pass ball rating of 2. So if this is a die is a 4, 5, or 6, we have a possible pass ball, and we do. So if this is a 2 or less, we'll have a pass ball. And it's a 2, so it is going to be a pass ball. How about that? So Essien lets one get by him, and that's a big one, because that puts runners in scoring position with only 1 out, and the boomer up there. And Sox are going to bring the infield in. They're going to take a chance, try to cut that run off. It's a 1, so it's a chance for a wild pitch, which is a 6. So could we have a balk followed by a wild pitch? We do not. No wild pitch, so back to George Scott. And that's a 5-3. 5-3 is a ground ball pitcher X. He is a 3E16. And with the, going back to the pitcher, he's automatically considered in. So a 3E16, there's a 2. That's bad news for Bart Johnson. A 3 and a 2 is an SI1, which means that's a single with 1 base advancement. Checking the error, he's a 13 and he's an E16. There is no 13, but it is going to be an infield single for George Scott. And great Scott, the Red Sox are finally on the board. RBI infield single for George Scott. Puts runners at the corners with only 1 out. And that will bring up Bernie Carbo. Infield's at double play depth now with the possibility of a double play. 6-10 against the lefty. That's a fly ball center field X. That's going to be Lemon. He's a 3E13. 3 and a 4 could be tricky. Check it out, 3 and a 4. Center fielder, a 3 and a 4 is an SI2, so that's going to fall in for a base hit. That's a 7, E13. There is no 7, but it is going to be a single. Single with a 2-base advancement. And the Red Sox lead it 2-0 as Yastrzemski comes in to score and Scott goes to third. So still runners at the corners with 1 out as Bernie Carbo picks up the RBI. Here is Carlton Fisk. 4-12, fly ball left field C. Now I believe on a fly ball C that you do not go anywhere. So let me double check that. I'm pretty sure you have to have a B to get there, but maybe C does come in. But I don't think it does. I will double check that. Probably shouldn't have to check it, but I am. Fly ball C, yep, it's a shallow fly, no runner advancement. So that 4-12 is a fly to left, handled by Gar. 2 away, runners could not advance. So it'll bring up Dewey Evans. Sox already have 2 in. The Red Sox already have 2 in, though. 1-9. Strikeout plus injury, but since I'm doing as play, we're not going to mess with the injuries. So Evans strikes out. So Evans ends the inning with a strikeout, but the Red Sox put up 2 on the board against Bart Johnson. And they have their first lead of the ball game and of the series as they lead the White Sox 2-0 and have given that lead to Ferguson Jenkins to try to hold on to. Alan Bannister will lead things off for the White Sox. And Fergie Jenkins enjoying that 2-0 lead. See if he can hold it. Here's Bannister, singled his first trip, 6-11. That's a fly ball to center, and there's 1 away. Brings up George Orta. And he ought to do something. 6-7. Ground ball second base X. That's going to be Denny Doyle. And Denny Doyle, as we looked at before, his error is fielding is 2 E18. 2 and a 16, he'll get to that. E18 and a 12. Check that out. E18 for a second baseman and a 12. Do we see a 12? We do not. We see a 13, but no 12. So therefore, it is a good play. 4-3 ground out, 2 down. 4. Richie Zisk. 4-8, and that's a fly to right. That's going to end the inning. I'm sorry, I looked at 5-8, didn't I? 4-8's a strikeout. It's even worse for Zisk. He struck him out. And that's going to end the inning. So how do you like that? And the White Sox are going to go to their bullpen. Bart Johnson, shaky ground. They're going to go to their long man, who later became a starter fixture in the rotation, but early in the year he was working out of the bullpen, and that is Francisco Barrios. Barrios on the year was 14-7 with a 4.12 ERA. He started 31 games, but he does have a long relief rating, so we're going to use him. He's not scheduled to start for a while. So Barrios will be coming in. Johnson's only going to go 4 innings, and he's going to be saddled with 2 runs, both earned. Actually, that pass ball might make one of those unearned, but then couple singles came up later, so I think they would have scored anyway. So we're going to call them both earned, unofficially. And we're going to say he faced 17 batters. I'll do the rest later. But right now, Barrios is your pitcher. And he's going to start out facing the bottom of the order, Butch Hobson. So Barrios facing Hobson to start the 5th. 2-8. 2-8 is Hobson's going to treat him rudely. 1-4 is a triple. 5-20 is a single. And that's a single for Butch Hobson. So leadoff single for Hobson. And now we got Burleson, top of the order. 2-11. 2-11 is going to foul out to Spencer at first. As I reach around my camera here, as best I can to reach. I'm going to pull this back just a little bit to do the top scoreboards up here. There's Denny Doyle. 1-8 for Doyle. He's going to ground to first base B. That's a fielder's choice. So Spencer goes to short on a 3-6 fielder's choice. Doyle takes over at first base with 2 outs for Jim Rice. Rice-A-Roni, 5-8. 5-8 is a fly ball to center, and that's the end of the inning. So Barrios pitches a solid fifth. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Still 2-0 Boston over the White Sox. And we will see what Mr. Spencer can do. He's the leadoff man. .65. It's ground ball shortstop X. That is going to be Burleson. Burleson is a 2E25. 2 and a 1. That's going to be a base hit. That's a 12. Is there an error on E25 and a 12? No 12, but it is going to be a base hit. He is a 2 and a 1. That's side 1 base. So it's a leadoff single for Spencer as he sneaks it past Burleson in the 5.5 hole. And that brings up Gamble, Oscar Gamble, the man with the fro, 1-9. That's a home run. Look at that, Oscar Gamble, 1-9 and 1-8 and 1-11. All those in a row is a home run. And Oscar Gamble, who on the season hit 31 home runs, just clobbered one there, and we got a tie ball game just that quickly. It is tied at 2-2. Southside Hitmen strike again, and the White Sox, before you can blink your eye, have tied the ball game, much to the chagrin of Ferguson Jenkins. Here's Soderholm, 3-10. He's going to pop it up to Burleson at short. One away. Brings up Chet Lemon, 1-3, and that's a ballpark single check, and it's a 1 through an 11 to get a single. It's 12 though, so he's going to line to short. 2 down for Jim Essien. Essien 6-6 is a single, solid single for Jim Essien. Keeps the inning going. For the top of the order, Ralph Garr. 2-10 for Garr. It's a ballpark single check. Again, it's 1 to an 11. It's a 5, so that's a base hit. So runners at first and second with 2 outs as the inning continues for Alan Bannister. 3-9. 3-9 is a single, 2 stars. That's going to put the White Sox in the lead. So the innocent 2-out single by Essien proves to be costly for Fergie as they put a couple hits together, and the White Sox now have taken a 3-2 lead. And that brings up Orta. 6-7 is ground ball second base X. That's Denny Doyle. And Denny Doyle is a 2E18. 2 and a 15. He'll get to that. That is a total of 12. And he is a E18. E18, there is no 12. So it's a good play for Denny Doyle. As the White Sox send 8 to the plate, only 3 of them score. I say only, but when you send 8 to the plate, that's not very many runs when you think about it. So we played 5 complete here at Comiskey, and it is Chicago 3, Boston 2. Timeout while I let Tabby out of the room. Okay, 3-2 as we start at the top of the 6th. It'll be Carl Yastrzemski against Francisco Barrios, who now stands to be the winner if the White Sox hold the lead. 2-4, and that's a fly ball to left field for Yaz, and Orta hauls it in, 1 away. Here's the boomer, George Scott, 6-6, and he's going to line out to Soderholm at third. And there's quickly 2 up, 2 down as Barrios has brought some stability to the White Sox pitching staff. Here's Carbo, 1-6. Not stability anymore. Bernie Carbo, 1-6, just went deep. And we got a tie ball game as Bernie Carbo goes yard. And we have a tie ball game at 3. Here in the top of the 6th. Here's Carlton Fisk, 1-8 for Fisk, and that's a walk. So a 2-out walk will send up Dewey Evans. Barrios a little shaken by the home run. And is wild and walks Fisk. Here's 3-8 to Evans. Struck him out, though. He did regroup. And Evans is down on strikes. But the Red Sox tie the ball game on the home run. The shot by Bernie Carbo. Shades of 1975 World Series, Game 6. He got a flashback, and he has given his team a chance to tie the game. Now it's up to Ferguson Jenkins to hold the lead. He'll be facing Richie Zisk, who he struck out twice. 0 for 2. 4-7, he's going to strike him out again. So Richie Zisk has the hat trick, 3 strikeouts. Here's Jim Spencer. 1-4 for Spencer. He's got a chance at a home run. 1-8 would do it. 9-20 is a double. It is an 18, so Spencer already singles, now he's doubles. And he's in scoring position for Oscar Gamble, who hit that moonshot last time. 2-8, and that's a base hit. 1 is a double, 2, anything else is a single with 2 stars, so that's going to bring Spencer home either way. Make it official. It is a 1, so it's actually going to be a double. How about that? So Gamble with the RBI double, and the White Sox are back out in front 4-3. And now the Red Sox bullpen gets going in a hurry. Tom House, the lefty, loosening up in the Red Sox bullpen. 5-3. 5-3 is a diamond shot home run. 1-6 would do it for Soderholm. He does have normal power. It's a 17 though, so he's going to fly to left, and that's 2 away. So Soderholm just missed it. And here's Chet Lemon. 4-7, and that's a strikeout. The dot there, but Jenkins is not tired yet. He only gave up 2 hits this inning, not 3. You need to give up 3 in the 6th inning to be tired. So he hasn't reached that yet, but he's probably getting there quickly. It is a 4-3 White Sox lead over the Red Sox. And Barrios is going to come back out and see if he can't hold it this time. As we start at the top of the 7th against Butch Hobson, number 9 hitter. White Sox do have activity in their bullpen as Laren LeGros, their closer, is warming up. They had an off day yesterday, so even though he pitched 2 innings in the first game, he does have rest because they had yesterday off technically. 2-2 for Hobson, and that's a ballpark diamond shot. Again, 1-6 here at Comiskey. It's an 8, so that's 2 out of the range, so there's no robbing the home runs to check or anything. It's simply going to be a fly to left field. So Hobson is retired. Here's Rick Burleson. 5-5 against Barrios, and he struck him out. So Burleson down on strikes for out number 2. And that'll bring up Denny Doyle. 5-8 against the lefty. He's going to ground to second. That's handled by Orta. And the inning is over. So after 6.5, it is Chicago 4 and Boston 3. We go to the 7th inning stretch here at Comiskey, and we will be entertained by Mr. Harry Carey and by Nancy Faust, the organist.
All right, everybody. Okay, Nancy. Take me out to the bar. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I ever get back, or it's looking for the White Sox. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes you out at the old ball game. Hey!
All right, so we are ready now for the bottom of the 7th. And like I said, there is bullpen activity for the Red Sox. Not only do we have the lefty Tom House, we also have the right-hander Jim Willoughby is also loosening in the bullpen. So depending on the matchups is who you're going to see. So we will get this going here as soon as I get everything where I need it. So Barrios is out. Jenkins is in, but he's on a short leash. He's going to be facing Jim Essien, the number 9 hitter. And we'll see what he can do with that. Let's take a look here. Get everything where I need it. In fact, I'm going to pause the video so that I can get everything where I need it to be. Okay, so we do have the lefty Tom House and righty Jim Willoughby in the Red Sox bullpen if they're needed right now. Jenkins is going to see if he can give it a go. One more batter reaches base and he will reach his point of weakness though. So, like I said, short leash. 1-9, that's a strikeout of Essien. So, Jenkins does survive that, but now we flip the order and Ralph Garr, lefty, is up. 2-3 for Garr is a ground ball to third, handled by Hobson. So, Jenkins surviving that. Here's Bannister. 2-3 for Bannister, and 2-3 is a ground ball to short. So, Burleson fields it, throws over to the Boomer at first, and the inning is over. So Jenkins does make it through 7, and right now the score is 4-3 White Sox. Francisco Barrios back out there, but Laren LeGros is warming in the bullpen. Although LeGros did have a shaky ninth in the first game of the series, but he's going to see what he can do here against Jim Rice, or at least Barrios is going to see what he can do against Jim Rice. 1-5 for Rice, that's a strikeout, so Barrios did okay right there. One away to start the 8th. Here's Yaz. 4-7, 4-7. A 1-7 is a single. Anything else, and it's a liner that Orta will snag. And that's a 14, so Orta was able to grab it. 2 down for the Boomer, George Scott. That's a 4-10, and that's a ballpark single check, which is a 1 through an 11 for George Scott. But it's a 12, so he's going to line to short, and Bannister snags it to end the inning. So Barrios, excellent relief work, goes 4 innings, only gives up the 1 run, and then now LeGros will be coming in to pitch the 9th to try to close it out. But first things first, the Red Sox have to make sure the White Sox don't get any more runs. So they will bring up George Orta, and Fisk is going to stay. Jenkins is going to stay in there, but Tom House is at the ready. Here's Orta. 5-5, and that's maybe Jenkins shouldn't have stayed in there. 5-5 is an in-home run chance, 1-17. 18-20 is a triple, so either way it's bad news, but most likely going to be a homer. And it is a home run for George Orta. And maybe, just maybe, Don Zimmer went one batter too long with Ferguson Jenkins, and he is going to be replaced as the call has been made to the bullpen. Actually, it's going to be made to the right-hander, Jim Willoughby. So, as Jenkins departs, he will be serenaded by Miss Nancy Faust. All right, so Ferguson Jenkins gets serenaded out of the ballpark to hit the showers, and Richie Zisk in to face the new pitcher, Jim Willoughby, as Ferguson Jenkins ends up going 7+, and he faces 30 batters. So we'll do the rest later. At least I've got that much of it taken care of. Here's 5-10 for Zisk against Willoughby. Ground ball shortstop X. That is going to be Burleson. He's a 2E25, and it's a 1, so that's going to drop in for a base hit, or get past him for a base hit, actually. And we get a 17, and he is an E25. So we go over here to E25, And the 17's a two-base error on the 25. So how about that? It was a single that Burleson snagged. He was trying to make a hurried throw to first, threw it down the right field line. Gives credits Zisk with a single, and then a two-base error on E6. And that will send him to third base with nobody out, and they're going to have to bring the infield in. And Willoughby is going to be coming out. So he faces one batter, gives up one hit. Not enough time for Nancy to play again because the left-hander Tom House is coming on to face these two left-handers. So one batter faced and one hit. But it's Spencer and Gamble, a couple of lefties coming up. Infield's going to obviously have to come in. It is a 2-6 against a lefty, and that's a strikeout. So big strikeout for Tom House. And there's one away. Now Gamble, a lot of times when they faced a left-hander, they would bring in Lamar Johnson, but Gamble's got a home run and a double. So let's look at Lamar Johnson. I think he did very well against lefty pitching, but I will double check that. Yeah, Lamar Johnson did very well against lefties, so we're actually going to pinch hit Gamble and let Johnson DH the rest of the way. A little platoon action going on here. So Gamble, it's thanks for the memories for him in this game. It is Lamar Johnson coming in on a big spot. They need contact, and they need something in the outfield. So Lamar Johnson facing Tom House. We get a 4-9. 4-9's a single to right field. And had he been facing the lefty, it would have been a fly to left, sacrifice fly, so the run would have scored either way. But this way it's a single. And it's an RBI single for Lamar Johnson. And the White Sox put a second run on the board. This one could end up being unearned. But both runs are charged. Well, one is charged to Jenkins, one is charged to House. And now Soderholm is up. I'm sorry, one is charged to Willoughby, not House, my bad. 4-8. 4-8 for House. 1-18 is a single with 1 star. And anything else is a liner to third. It's a single 1 star. And now House may not be able to last much longer. They're going to bring in Bill Campbell. He's their closer, but he hasn't pitched yet in the first game or the day off, and now this. So they want to get him an inning of work or get him some work. So desperate times call for desperate measure, as Don Zimmer has made the call to Bill Campbell. Runners at first and second for Chet Lemon. 3-4 for Lemon. He's going to walk. So Campbell comes in and walks the bases loaded now. It's starting to fall apart for the Red Sox here in the 8th. Here's Jim Essien. Infield is in. Try to get that force play at the plate. 5-8 is a ground ball, second base X. Second baseman is Denny Doyle. It's a 2 E18. 2 and a 19. This could be interesting. A 2 and a 19 is a G1. And this is an 11. We'll check the error portion on that. I'm sorry, 2 and a 19, yes, is a G1. There's an 11, he's an E18. There is no 11. So we go to G1 with the infield in and the bases loaded. We're looking at G1, bases loaded, infield in. It's a double play, 2-3. So that would be, in this case, it would be a 4-2-3 double play. So that's the way it goes. It would have been double play the conventional way had they been back, but they didn't want to take the chance. So Johnson's technically out 4-2, and then Essien on the return throw is out 2-3 to complete the double play. But 2 runs come in, and the Sox lead at 6-3 as we go to the 9th. And on to try to close the deal is their closer, Laren LeGros. So Laren LeGros is on. Barrios went 4 innings. Did more than adequate. And he's in position to get the win. But now LeGros has to deal with Carbo, Fisk, and Evans. The 3 batters in the 9th for the Red Sox. I keep saying Sox, but I got to differentiate. 111 is a ballpark home run chance for Carbo. So he could get his second home run of the game. 1-6 would do it. He gets a 1 through 6, he could get a home run. It's a 17 though, so not going to make it this time. It's a fly to right field, and Carbo flies deep, but not deep enough as it was hauled in by Zisk. And here's Carlton Fisk, 5-4. 5-4 is a ground ball third base X. That's Soderholm. Soderholm's a 2E11. 2 and a 5. I think he'll get to that. 2 and a 5. He does get to that. That is an 11, and he is an 11. And there is no 11 on the 11, so it's a good play for Soderholm. So 2 up, 2 down. Last chance for the Red Sox belongs to Dewey Evans. Last chance to keep the game going and prevent Chicago from going 5-0. 2-6. And that's a home run for Dewey Evans. He's going to do his part. 2-6 is a solid home run. No other rolls needed. It is a solid home run for Dwight Evans. And all of a sudden, the Chicago faithful getting a little nervous now. It is now 6-4. So, fortunately for them, no one was on base. Here's Butch Hobson. 3-7, struck him out. The ball game is over. LeGros shaky in the ninth again, but does get the save. Final score of 6-3. Be right back with the totals. Okay, looking at the final totals, the White Sox improved to 5-0 as they beat the Red Sox, sweep the two-game series by the final score of 6-4. 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors, and 6 left for the White Sox. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, and 5 left for Boston. Winning pitcher was Francisco Barrios. He went 4 innings in middle relief, gave up just 2 hits and 1 run. The only run was the home run that he gave up to Bernie Carbo. He ended up walking 1, striking out 3. Laren LeGros got the save. His shaky 9th inning, but he had a 3-run lead to protect. Only gave up 1 run, so they win 6-4. He gets the cheap save. Ferguson Jenkins took the tough loss. I forgot to put the hits in for Jenkins, so let's do that very quickly. Let's see, he gave up 9 hits because the total was 12. I already counted the total as 12, so that means he gave up 9 hits. So Jenkins, 7+, gave up 9 hits, 5 runs all earned. 2 of them were homers. Forgot to put his walks and strikeouts. I shouldn't have started the video till I totaled all these things, should I? Let's do his walks and strikeouts real quickly. 1 and 1 there. And there's a second strikeout, so 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Come down here. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts still stands. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. So that's what I've got him for. 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. I should have done this before I chime back in, shouldn't I? Oh well. What happens when you're doing recording? Sometimes you lose your place. Well, Willoughby only faced 1 batter, so he obviously didn't walk anybody or strike anybody out to give up a hit. House faced 3 batters, struck out 1, gave up 2 hits, so no walks from him, just a strikeout there. So, final on Jenkins, 7+, 9 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 2 homers, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Willoughby faced 1 batter, gave up a hit. House went a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits. And then Campbell came in 2/3 of an inning, faced 2 batters, and walked 1, got out of the inning the rest of the way. So the White Sox improved to 5-0. The Red Sox dropped to 2-2. Player of the game in long relief was Francisco Barrios, as he gave the White Sox much needed relief, saved their bullpen. Sorry about that. Saved their bullpen so that going forward with the Toronto series coming up, they have a well-rested bullpen because of the off day yesterday, and then only using Barrios and LeGros today, so they should be good to go. So that's going to do it from here. Hope everybody enjoyed that presentation of White Sox baseball 1977 style. And as usual, we will see you all down the road.